Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The moment we've all been waiting for. It is the conclusion of the Zombies map series, and what comes with that is, of course, the tier list. And I realize that I'm not jumping on that gravy train of when people like Tim Hansen or others were uploading their zombie map tier lists, but you know what? I wanted to get through them as I did and upload it once it was all done, because I wanted them to be fresh on the brain and to play them in the order without having to wait and have that anticipation, as you know it did on launch day. So as you see, we have all the maps, all the custom thumbnails I made, of course, and we also have this criteria. We have goated at the top, and obviously you know what that means. We have first choice when friends ask to play, and that's obviously pretty self-explanatory. Solid but flawed, and that's, you know, they're fun maps, but they're not the greatest and they have issues. And meh, which to me is just like, I could take it or leave it. I'll obviously play it if friends ask me to. It's not going to be my first choice when they ask, but Voyage is obviously the last. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way and put Voyage right in Voyage, because, you know, I really don't hate this map, but like, it just isn't for me. It's not my favorite. And originally, that's what I was going to call this section, I was just going to call it not for me. But Voyage is really, I think, the only map that I can't find that much to really get into it for. I mean, I'll still play it if a friend asks me to, and if they really want to play it, I will definitely play it. But it's just not my favorite. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have not much else to say about it. I'll tip to it. I have myself a Guinness right here. I'll go ahead and give it a little cheers. So that's what I'll say to that. All right. Anyway, we'll go on to the next one, which is Alpha Omega. Now, Alpha Omega, if you watch my zombie map series video on it, I really strongly believe it is a fun map, an entertaining map. It gives you a lot to work with, a lot to do if you're that kind of person. But like I said in that video, and something that I've really come to believe the more and more I think about it, it's the most meh map out there. So Alpha Omega is gonna go ahead and be put into that meh category, because it's just meh to me. Like, of course, every single zombies map I will play. There's not one I wouldn't play. There's not one I wouldn't touch with a 32.5-foot pole. None of that. And I just don't. It's just meh. There's no other way to put it. And that's where it's going to be for that. All right, so next is Ancient Evil. Ancient Evil is a map that I've really come to love, and I really do love. The challenges are incredible. The wonder weapons are awesome. It's not a complex map in terms of getting set up and having things to do and whatnot. So Ancient Evil for me is going to go in, I don't know. I'm going to move these around too when they're here, but to me it's between goated and first choice when friends ask to play. I'll say first choice when friends ask to play, because it's really good, it's really fun, there's a lot to work with, a lot to do. And I said this when I talked about it in the video, or at least a couple of the videos, I really dig the themed shields, because you get the themed shields in Blood of the Dead, 9, and Ancient Evil. I believe that's it. Yeah, because Voyage of Despair and Dead of the Night both have just the regular ballistic shield, but I really dig how you get the unique shields in those other maps, and that to me just adds a whole nother layer to the map. So that's where it goes. Okay, so next is Ascension, and this is a map I made no secret about when I made that video of it wasn't my favorite back then. It definitely wasn't my favorite, because the monkeys were annoying. They were just way too obnoxious, but something that I'll say is this map kind of suffers from being way too simple. And I mean, I know it's Black Ops 1 era, so it's not supposed to be complex and crazy and ridiculous, but I think Ascension will probably go in, let's say this is a solid first choice to play with friends for me. Like, it's a great map, it's fun, has a lot to do, it's super easy. Like, I think it's only rivaled with Buried in terms of how easy it can be. So that's why I'm putting it there. I'm going to have more to say about every single map and everything once I get this more assembled and put together. But Ascension is one that I really dug playing first and foremost, and that's why I put it there. All right, next we have Blood of the Dead. Now, Blood of the Dead is another one for me that I put a pretty decent amount of time to at launch. I played it a lot with my friends, especially some of my college friends, and it's fun, but it's not great. So for me, that one's another solid meh. I mean, there's great things about it, but I think one of my biggest issues with it is the fact that the Hell's Retriever is such a big and fun part of the original Mob of the Dead, but the fact that you can't have the Hell's Retriever or Hell's Redeemer while you have your Wraithfires, which are just way too overpowered and incredible, just really kind of disincentivizes getting it, especially for just like a casual playthrough like what this whole series was. So that's why I put that there. I mean, not just independent on the Hell's Retriever, but it's just, if Blood of the Dead was in Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 in that game's engine with the way those worked, I think it would be better. But just, it's a gigantic map. The fact that you can't, there's no indicator of where Pack-a-Punch is obnoxious, so it's meh. I'll still play it if someone asks, of course, as with any of the maps, but that's just where I definitely put that one. But alright, moving on, next we have Buried. Buried, I'll put smack in the... I'll put the solid but flawed. Because I like the Leroy mechanic with using him to open the map, but it's kind of annoying having to go back and forth, finding booze, buying booze, using him to break down the barriers, finding the stuff to do the candy, the buildables, and hold the crawler and all that, which is a really cool feature. Like, all that stuff is really cool, and it's really cool once you know how to do it, but it definitely feels like that to me. It's solid but flawed. It's way too easy. Vulture Aid is such an overpowered perk, but it's fun. I love it. Like, fun factor, Buried is definitely up there for me, and like, that's something that, like, I think a lot of people forget when making a tier list for maps is it fun? And that's really how I feel about that. And like, honestly, anything in the solid but flawed and up are fun all the time for me. So the meh and obviously Voyage is where I have the least amount of fun. So that's where that is. But obviously those other maps have their moments. But Buried, just smack dab in the middle of solid but flawed. Fun, great, incredible, easy to get to high rounds. I love the mechanics. It can be broken with the bank and the weapon locker, of course. So, you know, it's just, it has something for everybody. And I think that can't be understated enough for a lot of maps, because some people think that every map needs to be hardcore with super crazy quests, but the vast, vast majority of people just want to hop in and shoot some zombies, man. That's what the game mode is, and that's what really got a lot of people enthralled with it from the very beginning. Now, I get once you play and play and play, you want to do more stuff with it, and that's where that stuff is nice, but it's nice to have a map that's more geared towards casual players, and that's why I love Buried. Alright, so Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead, to me, is a map that's so awesome, so cool, because it has the greatest map trailer of all time. In fact, I use that song from the trailer for my intro on my channel because I love it so much, but it has the best trailer. I was super hyped for this map, and I love the map. I really do love the map. It's so much fun, but to me, the mechanic of George, I get that it was there to disincentivize camping, because at that point in Call of Duty Zombies, besides, of course, like Ascension, Kino, and obviously maps like Derice, you know, training prevailed as the better strat, whereas back in, like, well, I said Derice, but Derice is the goated camping map. Everyone knows that catwalk strat, and obviously Nocturne and Toten camping in the little area by the couch is the best camping spot. So camping and holding out a location was definitely the strat back in World at War, and I really feel like Call of the Dead was the map that they really wanted to show you, like, hey, we don't want you to do that anymore. We want you to see and do and use more of the map. And I really like that, because like I said, with using more of the map, it gets you to see more things, go more places. Because I mean, there's places in some maps that, like, you could show me a screenshot of and I'd probably be like, where is that? But since training is the thing now, pretty much, you know every map. I mean, obviously that's not the most complete thought there, because obviously once you get the training spot open, you're probably pretty good. But it incentivizes you to, have your movement you know, it prioritizes good players, I'll say. Because, I mean, camping, especially up at that point, just required you to get good luck on the box. Especially Black Ops 1 and World at War. Because both those games had troll weapons out of the box, like the Springfield, the car, and weapons like that. And then also in Black Ops 1, you got weapons like, you know, the crossbow, which, I mean, upgraded, it's really good. But you had the L96, the Dragunov, and just some other crap weapons. But anyway, Call of the Dead for me, I'm going to put in the solid but flawed. I love the map. I love George. I've done the Easter egg on this, actually, with some of my high school friends. But that one I'm just going to put in the solid but flawed because it's not incredible, and it's definitely not the worst. But the Wonder Weapons crap out at a certain round. I do love how killing George rewards you with a free perk. And also, if you've done the Easter egg, it rewards you with a Wonder Waff, which is sick. So the fact that the map has a lot to work with and a lot to do, and it also, I believe it's the introduction of Moving Pack-a-Punch, because Moving Pack-a-Punch wasn't in any of the prior maps. So for that, I kind of put it in the solid but flawed, because I don't like Moving Pack-a-Punch. I think that's lame. But anyway, I'm putting it in the solid but flawed, mainly due to George and Moving Pack-a-Punch, if you want a rationale. But anyway, next on the list is Classified. Now, Classified is one that, after playing again for this series, I am putting it up with the first choice to play with friends, because honestly, it is fun. It's easy, way easier compared to 5, let me tell you. And so I just absolutely loved playing this map for this series. I had a blast revisiting it. I swear I remember Nova Crawlers being in the Black Ops 4 map, but they're not, I guess. So that was awesome. I guess it was just dogs, but this map added some cool new areas. It added the Area 51 Pack-a-Punch, which is cool. It's cool that they kind of added a little bit extra step to it, but the fact that you have to Pack-a-Punch your gun, you know, 5 times in Black Ops 4 just to get to full strength, it really kind of made you think of like, oh, well, I'm just going to save up all the points and do it in one go, which when you saw me do that in the video when I upgraded the 9mm minigun or whatever the heck that gun was, I did that all in one go and almost got clapped mid-round, but I guess it's kind of the risk versus reward kind of thing. But I like that. I think it's fun, and it would be really unique to see if they would have done this. I know they never will at this point retroactively, but it'd be really cool if they added the golden Pack-a-Punch machine from Tagged or Toten to this map, and that's what you got once you got to Area 51. But the normal Pack-a-Punch process was the normal Pack-a-Punch process, and just that teleporter part you get from getting to that room was, you know, in that room. So I think there's definitely things they could have done to make it a little bit better and different, but to me this map is a great remake because it's familiar. They added more areas for you to work with. They took out a big annoyance of the map, the Nova Crawlers, and I just feel like this is one that is great for the Black Ops 4 engine as well, because the perks allow you to pick your playstyle, and this is a map that is catered to that because there's plenty of camping spots, plenty of places to train, although they're not the best camping spots or training spots admittedly, but they're still fun. So this is definitely one that I have, my mind has really changed from playing these maps again, so that's why that goes there for me. Okay, so next on this list is Dead of the Night, and now I actually got a comment on my Dead of the Night video where someone said that they believe it's the most mediocre map of all time. And you know, originally, and also upon playing it, I still really like this map. It's still really fun. There's aspects of it I love, but it can't be excused with how ridiculous and crazy the Pack-a-Punch step is, the Pack-a-Punch process. Because you have to gaze into those 3 stones, find those things around the map, and do those. And I get that after watching a couple videos you can get the gist of it down, but I've played this map a pretty solid amount of times. And in the video, that was my first time ever getting that scroll, and I had to look up where it was, because I had no idea where it was. And for me, that just kills the pacing and the fun of playing any video game when you have to Google something. So, to me, and to that lad in the comments, that's going right in the meh. Because, like, there's a lot of things to enjoy about it. Like, I think the werewolves are cool, although I don't like how they don't drop you a reward, or at least they didn't consistently. And they also take a lot to kill. The Nosferatus, man, those things are hard for me to shoot, at least for me. I mean, I know I stink, but they were hard for me to hit, but I don't like how, you know, quick they swipe at you, and then on top of that, you get the Catalyst zombies from Chaos. So I do feel like they did kind of tweak the spawns of it at some point in this game's life cycle, because it felt a little easier to me than when I used to play it on the PS4, but maybe that's also just because PC's better, but... Alright, anyway, next map, Der Reisendrecher. Now, Der Reisendrecher is one that I put on at number 3 in my top 5 zombies maps for casual and challenge players. And for me, especially getting more into like the Easter egg and doing the bows and stuff like that, this map is easily goated. It's a great bridge from casual to more serious players. And I really feel that because, you know, getting power on super easy. Getting Pack-a-Punch is just as easy as it is in Der Reis. You know, you find the 3 locations and you literally, well, you don't even need to find the 3rd location. You arrive at that 3rd location and that's where the Pack-a-Punch is once you teleported the other 2. So it's nice that it does that. It does have a roaming Pack-a-Punch machine, which is a ding, but it at least tells you where it is. And I know that I said Call of the Dead, it sucks for that, but at least the lighthouse tells you where it is, so that's nice. So, looking at you, Blood of the Dead. Anyway, Der Reisendrecher is awesome. The bows are easy to obtain. It's just like filling up the souls on Mob to get the Hell's Retriever. And the base bow is pretty solid, up to I think around like 15 or so. And then after that, the upgraded bows can carry you to like a long way, except like the wolf bow. I think the wolf bow and I believe the void bow kind of crap out after a while, but it's fun. It was the first proper boss fight in zombies. The Easter egg's not bad. I know I'm not really much of an Easter egg guy, but I have done most of this Easter egg. I haven't beaten it yet, but I've gotten close, so I haven't beat the Easter egg quite yet, but friends and I have gotten to the boss fight and gotten close, so maybe it's time for me to put on my big boy pants and beat it, but it's definitely a goated map. If you're someone who's more of a casual player, play this map, and it will get you into those more kind of complex, crazy maps. It's definitely a great doormat for that. Anyway, next, we have Der Reis, and Der Reis is Der Reis. Like, OG Zombies fans love this map. I love this map. I was an OG Zombies fan, playing since day 1 of World at War, beating the campaign and playing Noct. So Der Reis is a revelation. It really is, because with the introduction of Pack-a-Punch, you could go further than ever thought before, and with more wide open areas, you could get to higher rounds than ever thought before, because even on the catwalk, the Pack-a-Punch weapons crap out after a little bit. So running around that courtyard area where Power and the box first spawn is great. Also, there's a strat with the factory area using the little electric traps and stuff. So this map had a lot of options, had a great Easter egg song, and it's just a banger. Der Reis is definitely goated, and I'm not ranking the Giant on this because it's remaster. I guess I should have said at the beginning, no remasters, or maybe I did. But anyway, I just really feel strongly about Der Reis. It's such a banger. It's so much fun. And I love it. All right, next we have Die Rise. And Die Rise is a map that I know the majority of the community hates. They hate it like it's, you know, and I understand why they hate it. I'm not going to say I'm blind to those criticisms. You know, the elevators moving constantly and having to wait for them. Because obviously, waiting is everyone's favorite game mechanic, isn't it? But I've never played a zombies map that works harder against you from just the environment alone than Die Rise, and maybe Transit. But to me, Die Rise is going right in the solid but flawed, because you know what? There are great areas in this map. There's some of the best training spots in all of zombies. You got the Buddha room, right? That's one of the best, just right off the bat. You got that little restaurant area that's by where Speed Cola can be. That's a great training spot as well. The area that is facing to the other side of the map once you fall down from that first little area. I know, not the most descriptive thing in the world, but what are you going to do? I think it's an apartment or something, but that's an incredible training area, although it's more of a figure 8 formation than your standard circle, but it is a great training location. It's a great map. The Sliquifire is so much fun. I love buildable wonder weapons, And I know they shouldn't be in every map, but I think it's a great addition on Die Rise, and I love just the fact that this map is so wacky and weird. The trample steam is fun. I love that you can get the free perk from killing the jumping jacks with 100% accuracy. It's one that I've played with friends a ton, and that might be blinding me a little bit to the map's flaws, but man, it's so much fun to play with friends. I used to love playing with friends up on the rooftop area by the dragon, having one put their trample steam down by that barrier, or just having one watch that barrier, and the rest of us just go to town mowing down zombies. It's also the proper introduction to good wall weapons in zombies, because you have the AN-94 and the PDW, which I believe are two of the best wall weapons in zombies to this day. Like, they can't be beat, in my opinion. They're just way too good. So I love this map for what it is. I realize it's not perfect, but it's fun. It has that fun factor, and to me it is the very embodiment of solid but flawed. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. And also hashtag remaster Die Rise. If you haven't seen that billboard, you should Google it. It's incredible. Anyway, next we have 5. And 5, to me, I'm putting in meh, solely due to the fact that I constantly forget this map exists. Like, I'll be making a list of the maps for something, like maybe I want to do an all map challenge video or something, or maybe I'll be doing something like this and ranking the videos, and I'll be counting out the maps in my head or listing them off in a Word document or something like that. And the one that I constantly forget when I'm talking to friends is 5. And it's really funny because I don't hate the map. It's a challenging map for sure, and everybody knows that. The Winter's Howl is garbage on it. And, of course, Black Ops 1 weapons aren't the best. But it's unique because the Pentagon Thief is really cool, and it has that bonfire sail power-up that we wouldn't see return until the use of elixirs in Black Ops 4. So the fact that it had that, if you were able to kill the Pentagon Thief before he touched you, you could pack a punch for 1,000 points is nice, and it's a really big boost if you're trying to do something and get to decent rounds on this map. But, like, to me, since it's just usually so forgotten, and I don't often think of it, that's why it's in meh. Like, I've played it in, I believe I played it in my MPL video. Yeah, I played it in my MPL video, and then, of course, other all-map videos and stuff, but it's just a forgotten map to me. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's definitely meh. Alright, so next we have the last Black Ops 1 map. Well, it's not the last Black Ops 1 map on this list, but it's the last Black Ops 1 map that came out. We have Moon. Moon is a map that I will not, I have no shame saying that when it came out, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I hated the zero gravity. I hated the excavators, The QEDs are weird, and I thought they were garbage. I mean, they still kind of are, but they can be used in cool ways. But anyway, the fact that Moon grew on me so much, especially playing the Black Ops 3 Chronicles version, because it looks gorgeous in that game, is amazing. Because, like, I feel like it is a very fun map. It's a very fun map, and it has its flaws and nitpicks that I hate, but it's just an enjoyable one. It's cool. Like, zombies on the moon, like, you gotta be kidding me. So that one to me is solid but flawed for sure. And it's definitely not my favorite. It's definitely not my least favorite. And there are things I like about it. I hate the Spaceman boss. I think he's stupid. They had the introduction of Mule Kick on this map, actually, which is interesting, but I mean, cool, I guess. But yeah, Moon, I don't have a ton to say about it besides I used to hate it and now I like it. That's really it, I suppose. All right, moving on, we have 9. 9 is very much a map that I will say is a first choice when friends ask to play it. And it's not a terrible map. It's really not. It's actually a really good map, hence its placement. And so I love playing this map. It has a lot to offer. I know the shield. I've almost completed the solo Easter egg. Granted, I only tried it once, and I was like flipping back and forth from watching a guide on YouTube and playing the map one day. And yeah, I almost beat it. I got stuck at that skull step where you have to find that little blue one somewhere in the middle area, and I just couldn't find it. So I just kind of threw in the towel after trying for a while. But anyway, if I attempted the Easter egg, that should tell you basically all you really need to know about the map for me is like, if I was willing to learn more about it and try the quest, then I like it. It's fun. So if a friend asks me to play it, that is number one. Well, not number one, but it's up there on my list. It's definitely up there on my list. So I love it. It's a blast. It has a lot to offer, a lot of cool things about it, and so that's where I put it. Next is Kino der Toten, and Kino der Toten is probably, in terms of just casually speaking, is the number one casual map of all time. It's very bare bones. The Pack-a-Punch quest is easier than Derice. It has Nova Crawlers and dogs, so it's a little bit more challenging from Derice when you just look at the zombie perspective, but also, you know, it has the Thunder Gun, which is the god wonder weapon. So good they brought it back in Revelations and Tag der Toten. So, you know, Kino der Toten, easy map. Not as easy as Buried and not as easy as I'd say Ascension, but it's easy. It's definitely easy, but it's fun. Like, you know, this isn't blinded by nostalgia, but if you're a casual player, Kino is your jam. And I know a lot of people might give me crap for this and be like, oh, filthy casual or whatever, but Kino der Toten, solid map. It's great. It's a really good warm-up map, I've found. Like, if you're gonna sit down and play zombies for a while, or maybe go for an Easter egg or something, play Kino der Toten, whether it's the Black Ops 3 version or the Black Ops 1 version. Sit down and play it. It's a great warm-up for you to get your skills, you know, fresh, because the start of it, not the easiest in the world, because you have to get around, get power turned on, and then once you're to the stage, you're golden, but getting there, I've died some embarrassing ways. I mean, everybody has, but Kino der Toten, great map, fun to play, definitely a first choice to play with friends, especially since I have a lot of more casual friends. That's really up there, so that's where that is. It's goated because it's just the best casual map of all time. All right, anyway, next we have Gorod Krovi. Now, this was one of my favorite thumbnails I ever made. I mean, I think it's cool, but anyway, thumbnail aside, because that's not the point here, for me, this map is meh, for sure. Like, I know a lot of people love the Black Ops 3 maps, and a lot of people love Gorod Krovi, because it's, oh, so cool, you're riding a dragon, man, isn't that rad? And it's like, I guess. Like, it's cool, but, like, I don't know. The Valkyries are annoying and weird. The Manglers, to me, just feel like a nerfed, not as threatening version of a Panzer. And I know that's what it's supposed to be because they spawn in much more frequently. But, like, I don't know. It's not that memorable. I don't like the Pack-a-Punch process. I have to go to the Goth modules, defend them, then get that piece and do that. It's just tedious, and I'm not a big fan of the map layout. I don't like the dragons running around and breathing fire on you all the time, and I'm sure there's a way to either stop that or be invulnerable to the fire. I'm sure there is. I think that's what you get the wings for, right? But I don't know. I haven't played a ton of this map, and right now it sits at a meh for me. Like, I'd play it if a friend asked, but it's not going to be one of my first choices. So that's where that is. And now next we have Nacht der Untoten, and Nacht der Untoten as it stands compared to every single map here is worse, because I mean, it's the very first map. It, you know, had to start from somewhere, and it started at a very bare bones place. You know, World at War in 2008. They had no idea the zombies mode was going to be as big as it is now. They had no idea people in their 20s were going to be sitting here making tier lists on YouTube about the game. But here we are. You know, it's 12 years later. Nacht der Untoten is coming back in a way in Die Maschine. So it's incredible. It's awesome that the legacy of this map has stuck around as long as it has, because it's been remastered not once, not twice, but I believe 5 times. Because, I mean, think about it. You have Nocturne and Toten, original, that's 1. You have Nocturne and Toten in Black Ops 1, that's 2. You have Nocturne and Toten in Black Ops 2 with Transit, that's 3. Nocturne and Toten in Black Ops 3 twice, actually, because you have it in the Chronicles, so that's 4. And then Revelations, that's 5. And then 6 with D Machina. So Nocturne and Toten has been remastered or re-released in some way 6 times as of November 13th, 2020. And so that's just paying legacy to their roots, and that's one that I don't have much of a problem with because it's so small and so simple that, like, it doesn't take much effort to make, so you can't use that argument of like, oh, they're just making remasters because they don't want to make original content. It's like, well, it's a simple bare bones map. You get what you get, and that's what it is. And the thumbnail there, 5 years ago I played Noct, was because I started my channel back in 2015, or at least started uploading videos back in 2015. I did that for a couple months, then I took a break to start college, and resumed it now that I'm out of college. So that was the first video in the Zombies map series where I played through them all. And that's why I wanted to make that video. 5 years ago I played Noct, so that's where the thumbnail is. So for me, this map I will also put in the meh, just because, yes, it is very bare bones. Yes, there's not a lot to it. And playing it itself in the World at War version is fun, but that's also from the nostalgia of playing the World at War version. I mean, playing the Black Ops 3 version and playing the Black Ops 1 version aren't that different because, I mean, they both added wonder weapons in the box, and obviously with Black Ops 3 you have gobble gums so you can fully perk up, and the Wonder Fizz, which I think is... I don't hate that they have the Wonder Fizz on it, but, like, I feel like it's just such kind of a... takes a spirit out of the map, you know? But also, if you don't like it, don't get the Wonder Fizz. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Noct. It's meh. I still like it, still love it. Friends ask me to play it. That's a definite yes, especially if I'm feeling bare bonesy. But compared to the rest of the maps, it's meh. That's comparison only. Alright, so my next one here, Nuketown Zombies. Now, Nuketown Zombies is a map that I actually didn't initially have when I got Black Ops 2, because I was definitely that kind of gamer back then. I was still living with my parents because I was in early high school. It was just, you know, they bought me the game. They didn't buy me the season pass. I had to, you know, buy that myself or buy maps myself. So it's funny. I remember doing chores around the house to be able to buy the map packs in Black Ops 2. So I just think that's really funny to think about. But anyway, Nuketown Zombies to me is a map that's fun because it has a lot of replayability, because it can change every round. It's the true random spirit of Zombies, in my opinion, because you get random perk machines that fall from the sky, I believe, every 5 rounds. And obviously the mystery box is the best way to get weapons on that map, besides maybe the M16 and the AK-74U. So unless you want to ride with those weapons, or yeah, you're pretty much SOL. It's a very random map. You can have a great game, you can have a bad game. You can be like me and get the ballistic knife 3 times in a row, or you can get the ray gun Mark II like all my friends seem to do when they play. But anyway, to me, Nuketown Zombies is a really great challenge map. And if you're a storyline guy or storyline person, you have the you can hear the conversations going on at Moon, because it actually takes place at the same time as Moon. And I think that's amazing. Like, the fact that it goes on at the same time as Moon and you can hear everything that's going on is just incredible. That's cool. It's such a nice touch. And this map, to me, it's kind of hard for me to place it, really, because it's definitely not goated. It's definitely not the first choice when friends ask to play. So I'm really thinking it's in between solid but flawed and meh. Like, there's really no other way to put it. I like it. I'm going to put it in the solid but flawed, because, like, I'd feel bad putting it in meh, because I do like it as a challenge map, especially with that random aspect thrown in. Alright, so next we have Origins, Big Daddy Origins, because that's a map that everybody has right in their goated area, right? But for me, that was kind of where I stopped playing Zombies for a while, because the first time I hopped into Origins, I had no idea what was going on. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. Looking up guides for the map made me feel like I was taking a high school course, because, you know, actually I've taken... I'm sure there's high school courses that are easier than Origins. in terms of learning the map. But anyway, Origins is just, especially at first, it was overwhelming, daunting, and crazy. I had a friend show me around how to build the staffs, how to upgrade the staffs, and to me, that's really usually where I leave it. Like, if there's a wonder weapon with an upgrade step, I usually do the wonder weapon, upgrade it, and then I kind of leave it at that because I'm not a huge Easter egg guy. Of course, that could be subject to change, obviously, but, you know, Origins, to me, just, especially at first, was just not it. It wasn't. It really wasn't it for me. And even after learning everything for it, if I want to sit in and play and just have a fun time playing and, you know, pulling off crazy revives of my friends, or just even sitting in and having a good time playing by myself, it's not my first choice. So for me, it's in the solid but flawed. And I get it has a lot to offer, and that's awesome. And I love it for that, but yeah. Other than that, not much else to say other than it's solid but flawed for me. All right, next is Revelations. And Revelations is a map that a lot of people also hate because, you know, it's kind of it is an asset flip. It's literally a hodgepodge of a bunch of maps tossed together. And, you know, one thing I will say, and to this map's credit, is even though it is a hodgepodge of maps tossed together, it flows incredibly well. They nailed Nocturne and Toten as a central hub where you teleport to the different parts of the map. They nailed that. And, you know, the fact that they added a bunch of crazy wonder weapons and specialists and stuff you can get to it, they tried to offset that by adding Margwas and Panzers and Furies and all these special zombies, but this map is still super easy. Like when I was talking about Buried and Ascension being the easiest, I would really say that Revelations give them a run for their money, because, like, man, Revelations is so easy. Even if you don't know that much, even if you don't know what to do, there's still plenty of great training areas in this map, and you have such an incredible arsenal of weapons on this map. So Revelations is amazing. It's fun, and honestly, I would put it in a first choice to play with friends, just because there's so much stuff you can do and so many so many things you can do inside the map. So that's where I put that one. Anyway, next we have Mob of the Dead. And Mob of the Dead is where I put what I put at my #1 top 5 maps for casual and challenge players. And the funny thing is, this is really not a casual map whatsoever, but I still put it there because it felt weird to leave that map off a list I made, even if it is a casual player's map and stuff. And if you want me to make a full-on top 5, top 10 casual maps list, I will happily do that. I will very happily do that. So just let me know if you want me to do that if you're watching this video this far through. So anyway, Mob of the Dead for me is goated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Ascat is sick. The zombie shield in it, I really feel, is where the zombie shield kind of hit its stride of being more of a, not as much required weapon, but being one that people chose to get as much. Because I didn't know anybody who got the shield in transit at all, really. And that's because, you know, you needed the turbine in transit. So the fact that you could do that in this map and it lets you use it is nice. And the fact in solo that you don't need to keep running up and down when you put a new plane part in, because you can carry them all at once, is amazing. Because if it wasn't for that, this map probably it would not be as high as I have it. So it's amazing. It's fun. The story is incredible. It meshes the story and the map, the gameplay together perfectly. So that's where I put that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's fun. It's great. It has incredible weapons. I love map exclusive weapons, and this map has a lot of them. So I love this map. I can gush about it for a while, but I don't want to. So we're just going to leave it at that. It's an amazing map. I love it. It's fun. Just cool beans all around, really. All right. So next we have Shadows of Evil. And Shadows of Evil is another map that I wouldn't say I hated it when it came out, but it didn't catch my attention as much because it was another one of those, and Black Ops 3 kept this theme pretty much throughout the whole season, of it being really complex and crazy, especially to someone hopping on for the first time. And that's great for, like, the YouTubers and great for, like, the more serious gamers, and it's great for longevity, of course, of the map. So I get the direction they were headed in, especially after Origins and stuff like that, but At that point in time, I was a freshman in college. I was, you know, very much... I didn't have a ton of free time, so I really didn't have time to sit down and grind out the map and grind out how to do everything. But I did go to the midnight release of Black Ops 3 in college at my local GameStop, so I did play it at launch. I did have fun with it. It's a fun map now, and especially since I know what to do and how to do everything, it's a lot more fun. But I did have fun with it, but I was just kind of disconnected because, you know, I didn't have time to play it. But anyway, Shadows of Evil to me, oh man, is definitely in the solid but flawed, because there are things I would change about it, such as how long it takes to get Pack-a-Punch, and you're not going to figure that out if you just hop in and play. Like, if you picked up somebody off the streets who doesn't know, they know what Call of Duty is, but they don't know Shadows of Evil, they don't know zombies, really, you're really not going to get them to Pack-a-Punch on their first game, are they, without looking anything up? So, it's just, I don't like that. But obviously I get why they had to do that and had to make changes like that, but there's flaws in this map, and I'm not psyched about Margwas' boss enemies, but they're cool, they have their place, and that's kind of where I put them. But anyway, Shadows is very solid but flawed. I love the map, I love the Apothecon Servant, I love the things you can do with the map, and the speed runs of this map's Easter egg are sick. Like, if you've never watched those before, watch them. They're fun, they're amazing, they're cool. So that's where I'm putting those. All right, so we have 6 maps left. And now this first map that we see here is Shangri-La. That's a map that a lot of people hate, but me, I am not a Shangri-La hater. I think it's fun. It's very challenging. It has a lot to offer. The boss zombies aren't ridiculous, and you can actually use them to your advantage, because they'll both blow up, you know, nearby zombies. The spike mores are rad. The baby maker gun is actually really, really fun and really cool. And so Shangri-La is a cool map. I like how it's, you know, challenging, you know. Not a lot of maps I feel like are challenging, especially once you get like the Wonder Weapon and stuff like that. So for me, Shangri-La, well, even though it, yeah, it's still challenging when you get the Wonder Weapon, but not as challenging. But anyway, this map for me, I'm going to put in the... Alright, anyway, I'm going to put Shangri-La on the solid but flawed for me. Oh, that's Shinonuma. I'm going to put Shangri-La on the solid but flawed, because it's, you know, very solid, very fun. I like it a lot. And it was actually my favorite map for a while in Black Ops 1, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because, especially back then when I would play zombies a ton, I would actually kind of get bored of just training and training and training and getting around 40, 50, whatever, you know? And it's just like, okay, well, I want something with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more, you know, chutzpah to it. And Shangri-La is that. Alright, next we have Shinonuma. Shinonuma, especially World at War Shinonuma, I know it's broken for high rounds, right? You can get to round infinity, basically, on that map. The only thing that's stopping you is, you know, your endurance, and also the map glitches out after, like, 90 hours or something like that. But anyway, Shinonuma is meh. You know, it's... It's not great, it's not terrible, that's where it is for me. I really have nothing else to say for it. I wish they added Pack-a-Punch to this map, honestly. Like, I wish Durice was the second Pack-a-Punch map. Like, I wish there would have been some sort of thing that you did to, like, fish the Pack-a-Punch out of the swamp by where the 115 rock is or something like that. But, yeah, it's just, I don't have much to say about it besides meh. Like, if someone asked me to play it, that would be my response. Meh. Okay, next, but definitely not least, is Tag Der Toten, and that's goated, baby! There's no secret that is my favorite map in Black Ops 4. No secret of that at all. I love it. It's fun. It has its challenges. It has its, you know, ups and downs. It has the Black Ops 4 systems that aren't the greatest, but you know what? Tag Der Toten slaps. I love this map. It's so much fun. Sure, the wonder weapons aren't the best, and sure, there's snowballs on the map that you can throw at zombies, but those are more fun than anything. You know, I love this map. Call of the Dead, the map itself is one of my favorites, and they expanded on it, and they got rid of George that follows you around everywhere while adding a nice tribute to him because he did pass, rest in peace. But it's just such a fun map, you know, like the fun factor for me, this map is it for me. And I know it's the most recent Zombies map, but like, it's just so much fun to me. I love playing it. I love the golden Pack-a-Punch machine in that little area. Like, heck, even when I have my weapons upgraded, I find myself going back to that little area just to spice things up and have fun, because it's a cool little continuous spawning area, you know, for the time that you're there. And it's just so much fun and so cool. And I believe it's the perfect map for Black Ops 4 and the Black Ops 4 systems. And they added that risk reward for you to, you know, do I want to just standard Pack-a-Punch the areas the lighthouse shows, or do I want to wait and save up and go to golden Pack-a-Punch? Because, you know, instead of it costing 15,000 points to fully Pack-a-Punch your gun like it would if you used the regular Pack-a-Punch machine, the golden Pack-a-Punch is 5,000 points, you're good to go. So I absolutely love that with that, and to me that alone makes it goated. But this map is just awesome. It's fun, despite playing as Victus, which I know people aren't the biggest fans of, but it is where it is. All right, now next we have Transit. And Transit is the very definition, along with Die Rise, in the solid but flawed category. It's fun, and it's endeared and loved by so many people, even though that's probably because it is the on-disc map. But it's just fun. I believe it lets good players be good. And, you know, and that's something that's really cool. And you can break the game with the bank and the weapon locker, as you can on Buried and Die Rise. But, you know, Transit is just unique. You know, it introduced buildables. It had a freaking bus, you know, which, you know, is just crazy. It had a, you know, a travel around the map. You have to wait for him if you get left behind, or run through the fog if you want to. And like, stamina up is a must on this map, and I don't like maps where a perk is a must, but, you know, thinking about it, Double Tap 2 and Juggernog are musts on every other map. And oh yeah, if you're playing in solo, Quick Revive is a must too. So basically, you have one perk slot to play with. So that's why they made those changes in Black Ops 4. But anyway, Transit is, yes, it's flawed. Yes, it's buggy. Yes, it can be very unforgiving, but it's a fun map. Like, it's another map like Die Rise where the environment works against you. Not just the zombies coming after that booty, it's the environment that works against you. You know, there's the lava that slows you down, the fog that slows you down and has the denizens in it. It's just unique, and it's interesting, you know? I kind of want to see them take risks like that in zombies again. Because who wants to play the same types of maps over and over and over again? Like, who wants to see a Der Eisendrache 2, another Der Riesen Kino? You know, like, let's just go balls to the wall on getting creative here. And that's why I love Transit and Die Rise, because, you know, they took risks. And to me, they paid off in some aspects and didn't in others. But it's a unique experience that, you know, for what it is. They're very polarizing maps. How about that? Like, I'm not sure there's many people who have them middle of the pack like me, unless they're afraid to say they're their favorite map. But that's where I put Transit for me. So anyway, on to Verrucht. Now, Verrucht is a map that I got to round 20 on it playing this series on the World at War version. And I know that's like not impressive by today's standards, but like, back then, World at War standards, was actually pretty good, because they didn't have Pack-a-Punch. This was the first map that introduced perks, but they have crazy fast sprinters that are only beaten by Transit bus sprinters in this map. So, you know, Verrucht is awesome, and I think it means insane in German or something like that, but it's an awesome map. It's fun. It's challenging. Not my favorite. It's another one that's kind of like 5 that's usually forgotten. So for me, I'm going to put Verrucht in, you know, it's better than Shunonuma, and I think it's better than Nacht. All right, you know what? I'm going to put it solid in the meh category. Yeah, that's a good place to put it. All right, now we're on to our last map here, and I'm going to do some readjusting and talk about that. I'm going to, like, rank each one in the rows as it goes, you know. So anyway, this one, Zetsubo no Shima, is kind of like Origins in the fact that you feel like you're doing homework when you're playing it. It is fun. I do like it. I like the map exclusive weapons, the Razorback and the Marshals. Those are cool. And the Skull of Nansapwe is really pretty fun too. So for Zetsubou, I'm still putting it in meh. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite, but it's just not my cup of tea. Not my favorite, but I'll still play it. Much like the rest of these maps, I will still happily play them. All right, well, now that we got every map on the tier list, I'm going to kind of do some reorganizing, and this will be off the record. I'll kind of come back and give my rationale once that's done, but that's going to be kind of off the record for now. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I kind of reorganized things, and I want to tell you what it is. So from left to right, left is the best in that category. Right, or underneath that, of course, is the worst in that category. So, Der Eisendrecher, as of this, and playing them through and learning more about it, I would say is my favorite map right now. Especially since I kind of learned a lot of the ins and outs of it. It caters to every playstyle, and it's a great bridge between, you know, casuals and non-casuals. So, that's why Der Eisendrecher kind of claimed the throne for that, in my opinion. But Tag der Toten's pretty close, just because of that fun factor for me. But anyway, that's kind of where I ranked him as that. And, you know, that's why Buried, in my opinion, is better than Origins, because of that fun factor for me. Noct is better than Shinonuma because of that. And, you know, so on and so forth. So definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know this is definitely not the traditional zombie tier list that I've seen posted wherever you go. So this is my thoughts, and I wanted to make a video for it. So if you liked what I had to say or didn't like what I had to say, let me know in the comments down below. Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you want more opinions, especially my opinions. Anyway, thank you very much to everybody who watched my videos, especially this whole Zombies map series. I had so much fun making it. It was a blast. I love it. I really do. So I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to play all these maps and had the opportunity to rank them. So I just wanted to make a tier list to kind of hold up my end of the bargain, so to speak. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and all aboard that Cold War hype train, baby. I'm going to be streaming that on Saturday. I'm going to probably be streaming it on Friday when it comes out too. So just be prepared for that, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.